Well, hello there. Welcome once more to Quanchua's Kitchen. And if this is your first time stopping by, I would like to say a very warm akaba to you. It is breakfast o'clock. Today we are making breakfast, and I really hope you join me to do this. This is going to be good, and I know your family will love it. They will be thankful when you do this for them. Let's start off with our pancakes, and for this you will need some butter, eggs, flour, baking soda, salt, sugar, blueberries, that is if you want to make blueberry pancakes, and your milk at room temperature. Okay, so let's get started. To start, you will want to mix your dry ingredients first. So I have in my mixing bowl my flour, sugar, baking soda now, and my salt. And I'm just going to go ahead and whisk everything together. Just look at me, just blowing everything away. And I'm going to melt some butter. You could also use cooking oil, vegetable oil instead of the butter, but I wanted to use butter today, and I'm going to melt that in the microwave. So I'm cracking my 2 eggs into my milk, which is room temperature, and then I'm going to whisk it just like I'm doing right now to get everything all mixed up. Just like how it is right now. There we go. And now that I'm done with that, I am going to make a well in my dry ingredients and gradually be adding in my milk and egg mixture. You want to whisk until everything is well incorporated. You don't want to have any lumps if you can help it. And that is what I'm trying to do. So typically I would have added my, if it was vegetable oil especially, I could have added it straight into the wet ingredients. That's the milk and egg mixture, and then just pour it in here. But because the milk, it's not, it's a little, it has just a little bit of coldness to it still. It's not all the way like room temperature. I didn't want to add the melted butter because if you do that, you add the butter to that mix, it's going to sometimes solidify or harden, and you don't want that. So I just added the melted butter right here into the mixture, and this is how you want to do it. Perfect at this point. So I'm going to keep whisking and until this is very, very smooth and well incorporated. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and set this aside. Just give it a little time to rest. You want it to rest just a little bit before you fry, and that is how you get some air pockets into it to get some fluff in your pancakes. Yeah, work those arms, work those arms. Mine really need a workout, okay? So let me just go ahead and get extra here. And this is perfect now. It is done. Done. And so whilst my batter rests a little bit, I am just going to cook my bacon. And I've come to prefer cooking this on in the oven as opposed to on the stove top where it just splatters, and it is better this way. So I've just arranged my bacon in a baking dish, and I'm just going to put it in my oven, which has already been preheated to 350 degrees, and it's gonna cook in there. All right, so let's begin to fry our pancakes. So I'm just going to be using more butter, and like I said, you could just use your vegetable oil to do this. And I'm just smearing some butter into the base of the pan, and that's about enough. And then I'm just going to scoop a little full of my mixture of butter in here. and just let it cook undisturbed until it has bubbles on it, just like this did. And when it has the bubbles and the edges start to crisp up, you know your pancake is done, and then you flip it over. And I always like to flip mine over another time like I did, and then your first pancake is ready. All you need is about 2 minutes, and your pancake is fried. So we are going to continue. I just applied more butter, and then we're going to scoop our mixture in here. Yeah, always tricky. There we go. And let it cook undisturbed again until you see those bubbles, and then you can flip it over. So anyway, I'm making these plain ones for my kids. They really don't like the blueberries in there, so once I'm done frying for them, I'm going to add the blueberries to the rest, and then we'll fry those. And I only had frozen blueberries at that time because, no need making constant trips into the grocery store. And these have been in my freezer forever. Like I said, you buy the fruits, you want to eat it, and then eventually you're like, you know what, let me just throw it into the freezer before I throw away my money. So I have a lot of blueberries in the freezer, and that worked. It really did. Frozen blueberries in your pancakes works perfectly. So I'm done frying for them, and at this point I'm going to go ahead and add my blueberries, and this is about a third cup of frozen blueberries in here to the rest of the batter. Give it a stir and continue to fry. So yeah, you apply some more butter in here and scoop it. And always when you scoop, you want to bring your heat down to the lowest setting just to give it a chance to cook evenly and not burn. And when those bubbles come up, you just flip it over just like that. And when you have splatters like I just did, just tuck them in. That's all. And our first blueberry pancake is also done. And then we just continue frying until we have the very, very last. And this is it. We're done making the pancakes. And at this point, our bacon is also done. I've turned down the oven, and I'm going to be bringing out. So it took roughly about 12 minutes to cook the bacon. I didn't even need to turn it. And that's the last pancake, all done. And look at the bacon. So beautifully cooked. And I didn't have to deal with all that mess on the stovetop. Well, I guess my oven gets messed up too, but all those splatters, I just can't stand it. And there we go. Just look at that. Look at that. So I'm just going to bring this out. And I always like to put my bacon on paper towels, just in between paper towels to blot off all the excess fat. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. So I transfer them onto a plate lined with paper towel, and then I turn the excess sheet of paper towel over, press on it, and that's it. And we are going to be making some scrambled eggs as well. And at this point, my squad is ready to eat already. They just want me to give them that bacon and the pancakes, but we have to finish these eggs. So quickly, let's do these eggs. I'm adding in some salt and peppers. So I'm just grinding in some fresh peppercorns or black pepper. And if you are making this for, friends, or you're serving this to anybody apart from your family, I would say just make it with just the salt and let them choose to add the pepper when you serve it. But I don't like to have the fresh pepper on my eggs, and my family doesn't mind, so I always do it this way. So I'm just going to whisk everything together like I'm doing, and then I'm going to be frying it in a little bit more butter. Yeah. And if you prefer, you could add a little bit of milk. I typically would put some evaporated milk in it if I wanted to do it like that, especially when my kids were small. When I scrambled eggs for them, it was just salt, a little bit of evaporated milk, and the eggs, and of course, cook it in butter. So I put in just a little bit of baking fat. If you saw me, that spoon had a little bit of the baking oil just for that flavor in my scrambled eggs. I like it. If I'm cooking bacon, I always do that. Just a little bit, and it really improves the taste. And so I poured in my eggs now, and as it starts to cook and the edges start to lift, you want to quickly start to use your spoon to, I don't even know, I don't, not to stir, but just to make sweeping motions like I'm doing, just so that the uncooked eggs get a chance to cook, and the ones that are cooked, you push them back or you draw them back, and that is how you scramble. And so I'm going to be doing this gradually until everything looks like almost cooked, and then you can quickly stir and your egg is done. you know, we Ghanaians, I can't say for all Africans in general, but we Ghanaians, we like our eggs to be very cooked. Like typically, the people from the West would like it to be just a little bit runny. And my friend always teased us because she had gone to Ghana before, and she always says, "You Ghanaians like your eggs burnt." Yeah, I generally I like my eggs burnt, especially my omelet. Not so much for my scrambled, but this is good now. This is at this point, this is well done. It is cooked, and it's still gorgeous. It's not all that runny, but I think it's acceptable. So I'm going to turn off my heat now and transfer this into a bowl. Just look at that. Just beautiful, fluffy, beautiful, and it smells amazing. So anyway, one tip is when you're making a big breakfast like this, typically I would have omelets and everything else. So after I take my bacon out, I let it cool off slightly, and then I put my pancakes in there to stay warm. I'd rather have my pancake, as you can see, it cooked up just a little bit more. It's a little darker, but I'd rather have it this way than to eat something cold. So I have a hot plate with hot food on, and so we are going to sit down to a hot breakfast, even though it was a lot going on. And this was so much well enjoyed. This was so good. Yes. Every now and then you want to treat your family to this, and especially now, if you can go out to eat pancakes, I brought the pancake house to you. So I hope you really try this. Look at that. Look at that bacon. So beautiful, perfectly cooked. So no, you don't need pancake from the box. You can make this from scratch with very little ingredients, especially those of you back home. You don't need to pay huge amounts of money to buy pancake mix when this is so easy to make. Trust me, you will love this, and your family will too. So let me just sit down and start eating something before I faint. But I hope you have enjoyed doing this with me, and I hope you will really, really try this. Yeah, I love my pineapple juice. So let me do some pineapple juice. And of course, we're not having this without some syrup, and I love maple syrup. So some maple syrup onto my pancake. Yummy, yummy. So just look at this pancake. Fluffy, perfect, beautiful, gorgeous. IHOP has nothing on this, absolutely nothing, and I really hope you try this. I know you will love it. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy.